All right, and we are here. Hi, everyone. We are back with another amazing Gather Creator Spotlight video. Today, we get to talk to the incredible Erika Gimbel. From the time I met Erika, we met on a cruise. So, we can talk about that. We met on a cruise and we hadn't gotten to know each other yet, but as soon as things started rolling and we were doing activities and stuff like that, and Erika had a chance to kind of showcase what she does to engage an audience and engage a crowd of people, I was sold. Erika's energy is amazing, and I'm really excited to have her here as one of our Gather creators. So Erika, welcome to the party. So glad we're finally getting to your interview. It's been a minute since you got going here. So I'm glad that we are here and sharing what's going on here. What is this? This is March 2021 that we're talking. So there's lots of change and transition going on in our worlds. But tell us a little bit about, about your background. Where are you? How did you get here? And how are you serving people these days? Tell us, because I know you do a lot of things. So tell us, what is the big deal these days?
Cool. Well, before I do that, yes, I got to get the Tracy Root excitement going on that cruise about you. So, what an amazing, am I allowed to curse? You're an amazing boss babe, shall we say? You're an amazing boss babe. And when I saw you on that cruise, I was just like, wow, I am so not sure I'm going, wow, you have rocketed and exponentialized yourself.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you.
Gather has been created. So this is so much fun to be a part of what you're creating. So, I mean, I'm not answering the question really,
but you know what, but to touch on that, what's crazy is, so that cruise was in October of 2019, which is when we opened Gather, right? So I think we'd been open 2 weeks before the cruise that we met on.
Yeah. And I was just sort of, I remember just saying yes, yes, I want to be a contributor. I didn't even know what it was. I didn't even know what to do. And I still, most of the year, I didn't do a lot of anything, but it was just so awesome to say yes to you, because you're creating.
We're rocking and rolling.
I see your diploma behind your head from our
one.
Coach, and I got
this one.
There's the one at the top, and then there's another one. I have one in my fireplace over here. So it's all good. We're in the Bing Bing.
That's right. We're in the Bing Bing bubble.
Bing Bing bubble. So yeah.
Thanks to Erika.
To answer your amazing question about myself, so I'm here in Oakland, California. I'm from New York, and I've been out here in the Bay Area since 2016. 2004. I've been out here since 2004. I've been in 2016 is when I don't even know what. Oh no, I bought this home I live in Oakland in 2016. That's what my brain is firing. So yeah, since I came out here to do grad school for psychotherapy, and then I became a licensed MFT, marriage and family therapist. And in New York, I was a performing artist, stand-up comic, singer, actor, musical theater person, plus drama, and I also was a massage therapist, a New York State licensed massage therapist, which means something in New York. And
so tell me how you switched from being in the world of performing arts and acting and all of that to deciding you wanted to go to grad school.
Okay.
For psychotherapy.
Yeah, right. So I was born. No, I'll go way back. I was born with a very interesting thing for my physical body. So when I was born, I was interested in healing from birth. And then in college, I'm going to the 90s now, in the 80s, 90s. So in college, I got involved with this holistic approaches to wellness program. Like in some colleges, they have a French house or Spanish house. I was in the holistic approaches to wellness program, where we learned about all sorts of alternative healing practices like crystals and massage and, trance channelers and mediums and the whole gamut. And then cut to going to New York, back to New York from Vermont. I was performing and doing all sorts of performing arts kind of things. And to support my theater habit, I became a massage therapist. I was around a lot of people that were having issues with their bodies. And so I've done massage therapy work for over 20 years. And not only, it helps me heal myself and everyone around me. And then a friend of mine, they shared with me about this somatic psychotherapy program here in the Bay Area. It was very unusual and unique, that program. And I learned a little bit about it, went to an interview, got into the program. It ruined my life for the better. Ever since then, I've, with my massage therapy background and becoming a somatic psychotherapist, soma, the body, cells
Right.
of the body. That's
Right.
what soma means. And so, what it means is really, not just talk therapy, but it's bringing in the body into the equation. And the body doesn't lie. You've heard that before, I'm sure.
Mhm.
And and then merging that to become the person that I am now, with giving workshops and speaking and trainings that help people heal, get back in their body,
Yeah.
bring in, there's a lot of trauma work that I'm doing that is, you know, just so powerful, especially right now with what's going on. Is like people are having all different kinds of traumas. And
Yes.
yeah, so I've been a therapist for it's built upon from that healing background from the 90s and then the 2000s. And how do we talk about the 2000s? So yeah, it's been a long time journey. And I just had a chance to reconnect with some of those people from Vermont, and they're doing such amazing things. It's so cool. And I just see the lineage of what we're creating right now with this time, this sort of shelter in place time. It's so amazing to kind of be able to offer things that it's accessible to
Yes.
so many people. So I guess that's a wild ride. I just
It's
gave
a
you
wild ride. So tell me
yeah.
this. So you were just talking about things being accessible to people, and one of the things that most people who work in, especially in body work, right, they've had to come up with ways to serve their clients or find new clients in a remote type of thing. And I know you had an office, or you have an office that you don't really use right now. So tell me
I
what
closed
that,
my office.
what you closed it.
I
Yeah.
closed. Yeah, many therapists have closed their offices to not
Right. Because you don't
have
know
that.
when things are
Yeah,
gonna, because things will come back and people will be able to do their work in person again. But at the same time, you've shifted to being able to serve people in other ways. So tell me a little bit about how that shift was for you.
yeah. So going to phone and Zoom has been really great, and I can work with people wherever they are. Really, I mean, licensed wise, for my MFT license, I work with people in the state of California,
Right.
and outside of California, it's called coaching.
Right.
And
Well,
so
and a
we
lot of therapists, not only just because of COVID, but because of lots of reasons, tend to have kind of those two sides of their businesses, because sometimes people don't know they need therapy, but they're looking for coaching, and they like the fact that you have a therapy background, and oh, a couple of sessions and I'll be better, right? Like there's
yeah.
different mindsets that lead people to the different modalities. And sometimes you can identify that, what you need is this program, which is more of a therapy style, versus what you need is this program, which is more of a coaching style, or based on where they live, like you said, right?
Yeah, and I love to work like with the human that I happen to be talking to, if it's individual therapy work or coaching work. I love to make it work for that person. That's very client centered. So
Yeah.
so what I mean by that is, like, what works for one person doesn't work for another. Some people, they are not in a place where they can get mindful. Like, that's a thing. Can we get mindful? Well, then we can work at it this way. I
Yeah.
have my background with Gestalt therapy is really great for people who struggle to get mindful. And mindfulness is great with Hakomi therapy. It's like a younger sister to Gestalt therapy. So I had a lot of training in Gestalt therapy before becoming the therapist that I became. And so these different words, Gestalt, Hakomi, Reichian breath work is a whole nother thing.
Mhm.
And, you know, it's about energy, really, and an energy transfer.
Mhm.
If you have like a favorite yoga teacher that you go to because you
Right.
just love
You
their,
love their energy.
yeah. So it's really about that. And then I love being able to be flexible for the human that I
Right.
am working with. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's I love what I do. I wake up and go, wow, I get to play with people, and
Yeah.
serve and support. And then more recently, I've been offering these workshops and classes and conversations on Clubhouse has been
Right.
fun, right? And I really feel the creativity of this time.
Yeah.
It's really like the world is our oyster to serve and to make things available to people in new ways, especially while there's depression, anxiety, PTSD, and there's addiction, especially right now, new addictions are cropping up. And, even like the Jimmy's addiction. I watch the Jimmys, the Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, like that's an
Oh,
addiction, there's all sorts of addictions.
to watch them is an addiction, is what you mean?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
So,
because, some people are addicted to watching the news. Some people are addicted to watching the people make fun of the news, right? It's kind of those are almost two sides of the same coin, right? Like the reality and the parody of the reality, because sometimes it's easier to laugh at what's going on than to really adopt a perspective about what's going on.
yeah.
Yeah. Whew.
Yeah,
That's so
yeah,
true.
yeah. So like this idea of working our material, that's a concept I've been playing with in my class, the
Yeah.
Crouching Tiger Hidden Artist series, and this idea of we're working our material as creators. What do we want to say about how we're
Yeah.
doing right now? What is our little stand-up comedy bit about what we're going through right now? So I have had people in my classes one person's created a little play.
Like a little, oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
one
was going to
person
say, because,
created,
we talk about the stories that we make up in our heads, but what I love about what you're saying, and it's so you, right, is about playing with that and making it maybe a little less heavy and a little
yeah,
more like accessible, like you said, to everyone without making it feel like it's such a problem, right? Like it can be something that's more uplifting and encouraging and growth oriented, as opposed to feeling like, oh, I have this really negative story, like focusing on the negative versus focusing on, just looking at it in a whole new way. Oh my gosh, that's brilliant. So good.
yeah. So I feel like a little emotional about this. Like it's really lighting up the creator in others. Igniting the creator is one of my little
Yeah.
whatever that is for the
Tagline thingy.
tiger. And some people walking around with the physical pain that they have, we're supporting them to have less pain.
Mm-hmm.
That's in my intrinsic movement program.
Yeah.
And there's other things that I'm birthing, like this massage. I'm birthing some massage trainings for people who have no touch experience or have touch experience, or people who are caregivers.
Yeah.
So these mischief that I'm creating for April. And I'm so excited to offer it. I'm so excited about, how it will serve people.
Yeah.
And I welcome people to ask me questions and talk to me about
Love it.
whatever I'm doing, and whether you want to work with me individually or in these workshops. Yeah. And
Awesome.
then the reason why I'm wearing this gray shirt and not a more therapist-y shirt is because my sustainable gangster shirt. Is it okay if I tell about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So this week is like the final week before these schools and kids organizations can get in a grant for Whole Kids Foundation. So I'm a vertical gardener, and I have a whole thing about that. Yes, we can, food autonomy and food empowerment. So helping schools to get those grants in is what I'm working on this week.
So good.
And yeah, and
so let's talk a little bit about that, because
sure.
The understanding of what food autonomy is and food scarcity and all that, and there's definitely going to be a community of people who totally get that, and maybe they're part of it and have issues, but there's other people who don't really realize how prevalent that is in our communities, regardless of where we live, whether you're in an affluent community or not. It's not far away. So
Yeah.
talk a little bit about why you're so committed to that, and like what that looks like for you in trying to reach people and help them with that issue.
Yeah, sure. So even better than therapy and all these fun things that I offer that are so awesome and fun. Even better than therapy is food and making sure you're eating good, clean food. I know you are passionate about food as well and helping people with clean eating. And this is a way to grow your own and take charge of your food source. So, how many thousands of miles is your food coming from to get to your table? So this is this easy commercial appliance. It's a commercial machine that's basically a salad vending machine.
Yeah.
And you are saving money by growing your own, and then you know exactly what's on there. And so, with all of the drought and all of the issues that we're having with climate change, this is a really amazing thing for empowerment.
Yes.
And also what is fascinating is the research that's showing about kids when they get involved with the seed to harvest process, they actually will eat the stuff.
Right.
Versus, those little convenience stores that sell the candy and the crap and the cigarettes and the alcohol that go right with that, that is an atrocity that's the normal food for after school eating versus like, wait a minute, I want to eat that broccoli. Can I get that broccoli? Like, we have numerous stories of 15,000 schools getting on board with this. And then, it's creating different cellular metabolic reprogramming of taste buds going, wait a minute, I don't want that crap food that's made with chemicals. I would like this.
Right. I have two stories that I want to tell you about related to this. So one of my health coaching community, she as a joke one year did the whole like put out broccoli for people to choose, and the broccoli went like that. Like they took it, the kids took it. And I mean, it shows, hopefully like the community that she's in, and that's how that community has embraced being healthier, even on Halloween, right? Because the jokes on Halloween are, oh, it's like the little salad bag, and like, oh, you're going to get your house egged if you offer healthy food. But like, let's look at reality. And the reality is that broccoli went like she ran out. So that was one story that was funny. And then the other thing I wanted to mention was, you're talking about how far has your food traveled before it gets to the store. And, some of us pay attention to like that data and how long, how old are the apples that are in the store? They're like a couple years old, right? Like they're ancient. And here in California, we're very fortunate. Signal's fine, by the way, no worries. Here in California, we're very fortunate to live near where a lot of things are grown. But around the country, that is not necessarily the case. And even in other parts of the state, it's not necessarily the case. So I love that conversation because it continues to bring awareness. Even if you don't think it's affecting you, it might be affecting your neighbor and your community, and the way communities tie together. We have to all be thriving, because we're only as strong, the whole is only as strong as the weakest link type of, scenario. So even if, you think you're fine, like, let's look at that bigger picture of how is it really affecting the community at large, and then your state, and then your, in our country and the world.
Exactly. That was my first talk in front of 60 kids, was at the Vacaville Boys and Girls Club. And it was Easter, their Easter egg hunt.
Yeah.
And I was like, how many fruits and vegetables are in that candy?
That eggs.
Like, none.
Right.
And that club was the first of my Boys and Girls Clubs to get free tower gardens. And they have 5 towers, and they've had a farmer's market. They've raised money for their college fund, that Vacaville Boys and Girls Club, and that has spawned more and more and more Boys and Girls Clubs. Anybody in North America can get free towers with that program, the Boys and Girls Club Growing Up Grant. And the stories are just amazing, and just, it's so fun to hear what's happened for kids, parents, teachers, like bringing home the produce that they grew.
Mm-hmm. Right. To be able to bring that home to your family as a kid and say, I made this, let's have it for dinner is huge. The
Yeah.
other thing I wanted to say too is, you know, from my health coaching world is we focus less on, you know, the sourcing of the food, but more about like the choosing of what you have in the preparation. And one of the things that really changed our lives here at home with my kids is having them be involved in cooking dinner. Right. So there was a specific turning point where we had this thing called Radish Kids. It's a subscription box with like cute recipes, kid oriented, it's cartoony, and they get a little tool. It's awesome. And one of the meals was beef and broccoli, Chinese food, right? Fresh made at home. Sorry about that noise. That's my phone. Super great. Okay. The kids would never have anything like any of that. They would never have sauce on their spaghetti, right? Because they didn't want to mix things together, right? It was all about the blending and keeping things separate. Once they made it themselves, they made a spaghetti sauce that had grated carrots and everything in it. They loved it. And it was the beginning of their whole new opinion and mindset around what they would and wouldn't eat and enjoying healthy food. So all of what you're talking about, and what I know, it was amazing. It changed our family life, right? Like no more dino nuggets. Thank God.
Yeah, I'd love to have them on my Pots and Pandemic cooking show and to share.
Well, this was years ago, and now that they're teenagers, I don't know how open they are to that, but okay. But it's a good story nonetheless, and it's definitely a great system that that really supports families in promoting, you know, healthy eating at home, which is another great thing. So awesome. Okay, that's like sidebar, but that was just
well, that's okay. Thing. I love your sidebar, and I unplugged my computer so I could actually show you my vertical garden. But
oh yes, do it.
People can just like tune into some of my. I have this website, getkidsgrowing.com.
Yeah,
that's the website for the vertical garden with the schools and kids organizations and.
So when we're done, send me all the links of all the different things, and we'll make sure to put it in the notes on YouTube and on the post. But yes, take us over to your garden. We'll wrap up with seeing the beauty of the green.
Okay, I'll take you over there, and I can hear the water is running. So just that's the sound of the water running.
Oh, great.
It's on a timer. And just hold on a second while I go there.
Should we play the Jeopardy music?
Yeah, the Jeopardy music would be great. So here's one of my three. I have 4 towers. This is one of them.
Nice. Oh, look at the lights. That's awesome.
This is the inside. This one is inside with the grow lights.
Yeah.
So, and then I have a couple outside that are, you know, the spring stuff is happening. But yeah, this lights up my kitchen. But people love to hang out by the lights.
Yeah, and it glows.
I got
and what do you have? And so tell us what we're looking at, because sometimes it's hard to see on camera.
Sure. So, okay. So what do I have is lettuces, different kinds of lettuces, arugula. This is, okay, I have to smell it.
Cilantro?
I think this is cilantro. Yes, cilantro. Bing, bing. Kale down here.
Oh yeah.
And I have more arugula. You know,
I love it. And what I know about those is they come in like these little pods, and you just stick the pods in and run the water and they grow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And some of it is just little babies getting started.
Yep. That's why I remembered the pod thing, because I could see the pod around the like little sprout.
Yeah, and it does really light up my backgrounds. It's really fun.
Yeah, love it. Thanks for sharing that. That's awesome.
Of course. And it's like the gift that keeps on giving. You know, once people get that thing, or once an organization gets that thing, it's
yeah. I was first exposed to that about 5 years ago when a friend of mine got one, and I was just like, holy cow, this is amazing. Been a fan ever since. Very cool. Well, awesome. So, okay. So let's recap a little bit. We've got healthy kids and growing food, but we also have group workshops and classes. We've also got one-on-one therapy and coaching. So like, if you had like a wrap up message maybe that you want to share with, you know, the people that are watching this are probably not the schools and all of that, but they might be parents, they might be grandparents, they might be people who are looking to kind of get in touch with all the craziness that's happened in their lives in the last year and kind of feel like they're ready to, pop out of their skin and need some help. So wrap everything up for us a little bit.
That's an amazing thing to do. So yes, we can. That's the phrase I would love to leave people with is yes, we can. Yes, we can have less anxiety, less depression, less all of this, the PTSD, less of the vices. I can support with that with my different tools and tricks and my therapy or my coaching. And I have beautiful community that I'm creating. Gather is amazing community. And then some of the workshops and classes offer community and education and support around different topics such as the creativity and the healing and the physical pain. And so people can look at some of those workshops on my website, erikagimbel.com, or if you're interested in the growing food autonomy, then Get Kids Growing is great.
Awesome.
And really, this is such a time to like slow down and to consider what's important and to get support, ask for help. I'm here, I'm available, and I'd love to talk to you, answer your questions. And Tracy, it's so fun to get to dance with you. And I love all the other contributors and creators and getting to know them. This has been so powerful to get to know Shannon and to get to know Dunya and to get to know Andrea. So I'm like all about it with all of the creators and contributors and Carla. Oh my gosh, I love Carla. So that cross-pollinating for how we support our people.
Yes. Yeah. Well, because that's what community is all about, right? When Gather began as a room, it still needed to be in support of the community that the room was in. And now that we really are more of a force, right? We're more widespread all over the country. Our event in December actually was an international event. We had people from other countries there, which blew my mind.
Yeah, I can't wait. Wait for the big event that you're doing.
The next one that's going to be in May. Yeah,
and
next one's going to be
able to come together to do in-person stuff. Like I'm all about it. Like when we can get in person, tell me, because I'll put it in my calendar and I'll come on over and we'll do workshops.
Well, we will definitely be doing things in person, but at the same time, this Gather community here online will not be going away, right? It's not something that we made instead of, it was an expansion. And so we've got this online community that we get to support people all over the country and really even outside our country, all over our geographic area. We've got people in our community who are offering opportunities that are from outside this area too. So it's, inside, outside, all around.
Inside, outside, down. And one thing that I love, I'll just leave you with this final thought, is like looking for the synchronicities, looking for where things line up and feel like it's a yes. So look at this synchronicity. You see what's in my background? What do you see? Birds. And then this book, I felt called to like do this book with people. You see what's on this book?
Oh yeah, the storks.
This is what I did with Crouching Tiger, Hidden Artist. See, that's a synchronicity.
And do you know that when you come down here, we'll have to make sure it's when the pelicans are flying, because they're amazing and always flying up and down the coast.
I would love to come.
Well, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for your time. I think this is perfect transition. The last thing I wanted to mention is, we're here in March of 2021, but the transition that we're beginning and what's happening going through the rest of this year, this is the perfect time to kind of realize what you want and move forward with it, right? Realize where you can get support and move forward with it. Realize where something that you're experiencing that you'd like to shift, like find someone to move forward with it. And Erika, you've got so many ways to offer that support for people. So I'm so appreciative of you being here. Thank you for your time today. And we'll make sure all your stuff. Absolutely. We'll make sure all your stuff is in the comments. I love you too.
Yeah, so thank you, Lucy. I love you, my friend, doing this, and thanks for interviewing me. I feel interviewed.
Yay. Okay, bye now.
Goodbye.